living beings have some place that they live in. For example, human beings live in houses. Yes, you got it right. Animals, caves, burrows, and so many other things. If you start learning about animals and their houses, there are various kinds, but the ones we know commonly is caves and burrows. Birds, you guessed it, nests and trees, and some of the animals also live in tree trunks, right? And then fishes, yes, sea. So every living being has some place that they live in. Now today we are going to talk about where human beings live, houses. So to learn this topic in detail, let's ask some questions. Why do we need houses? What are houses made of? Then what are the materials? What are the types of houses? Then who makes the house? What is an ideal house? So we're going to go through this unit by using questions and to get all our answers. All right? We'll start with, why do we need houses? We need houses because they protect us, right? What all do they protect us from? Storm, heavy rains, so much of heat, then very cold places, then wild animals, thieves. Yes, we lock our houses, we make such strong doors, we lock our houses so we can sleep in peace in the night. So a house protects us. Second thing is, house gives us a place to go back to, a place that we belong, right? The third thing is, it is a place where we keep all our belongings and possessions. Fourth thing is, it is a place where you can rest, relax and be free, be ourselves. Yes, all of us in the evenings you can see the traffic because we are rushing to reach back our homes, relax, unwind, eat some food and rest. Then we are charged for the next day, right? Yes, so that is what the house does for us, just a place for us to belong, a place for us to relax, a place for us to rest, a place for us to be free, right? When we go into public, many times we have to have certain manners and all those things. So at home we are a little more free because we know who's around us, it's our family, right? And there is a sense of freedom also in our house. All right, coming to the next question. What is a house made of? It's made of mud or clay, made of cement, made of bricks, wood, metal. All right, these are the things that we use to make a house. I'll repeat again, mud and clay, mud or clay, cement, bricks, wood and metal. Now, we'll continue this what question. What are houses made up of? We will see what are the types of houses. Okay, there are two types of houses, KUTCHA and PUCCA. So the word itself tells KUTCHA means something not very strong. Alright, PUCCA is strong, Pakkavada, that means very strong, okay. Okay, I have a small thing that my daughter made for herself, PUCCA and KUTCHA house. So this is a small example of a KUTCHA house and this is a PUCCA house, okay. Alright, so moving on, you can, this KUTCHA house, let's talk about the KUTCHA house. KUTCHA house is a temporary house, and where do we see it? We see it more in villages, and in this KUTCHA house sometimes, mostly we will use mud or clay, a lot of wood also, okay. And these KUTCHA houses are sometimes found in villages and also in cities, but mostly it is in villages. Okay, now for the PUCCA house, the strong house or the permanent house, and it is definitely found in cities and towns. What are the kinds of PUCCA houses? The PUCCA houses are flats, independent houses, bungalows, mansions. You know, even a palace is a PUCCA house. Even in cities we see that on the roadsides or even some empty places they make small huts, because people who are just staying temporarily, people who are working in some house buildings, or sometimes even beggars, they live in KUTCHA houses in the city itself. Okay. Okay, now what all did we use here for the KUTCHA house? Mud, clay, wood. For the PUCCA house, we have to use cement, brick, metal, wood, all so that the house is very, very strong. Okay, now moving on to the next question. Criteria or conditions to build a house. What are the conditions? The number one condition is need to have money. So, finances. The number two condition is depending on the weather condition in that area. Then third thing is depending on the family, what is the size that they want. Okay, and also sometimes in some areas which we will study as we go forward, certain kinds of houses are made. Okay, so depending on the region also we have to make a house. Then materials available in that region. Some regions may not have all the materials. Okay, so what are the conditions? Number one is finances. Number two is the material available. Number three is weather conditions. Number four is depending on the family need. Number five is the region in which they live. All right. So, moving on, the next question that we ask is, who makes the house? Who makes our houses? So, when we look at it, we see that there are a huge group of people. They are skilled to make houses, and because of them a house is beautifully made. Let's see the first person. The first person is an engineer or an architect, and what do? They draw the plan for the house. Without a plan, if we start, most of the time we cannot reach anywhere. So, there has to be a plan. So, the architect will draw. As you can see in your screen, the architect is a person who draws the plan for the house. The second person, once the plan is done, then we start building the house. We got all the materials. Now, who all comes onto the scene? Again, skilled people, like I said. First one is mason. As you can see on the screen, a mason does brickwork and cement work. This is a foundation of the house, so it has to be really strong, and the mason also works with the metal so that it gives good structure and shape for the house. The next person is a carpenter. The carpenter works with the wood, you know, all the woodwork in the house, especially in mommy's kitchen, all the cupboards, even in your bedrooms, your wardrobes, everything is made by the carpenter. Then the next person who helps in making a house is a plumber. A plumber, as you know, does all the water fittings, pipes, and also that we can get proper water. All right. The next person is an electrician. What does an electrician do? Does all the electrical connections so that we can have fan and light and even other appliances. The next person is a person who paints the house, a painter, so that the house even from outside looks all beautiful. Okay, so this is a team of people who makes our houses. Okay, the next question would be, what about the roof of the house? We did not talk about the roof till now. So, the roof of a pucca house is usually made by tiles or cement itself, because you find that so many houses have terrace. We can go and get some nice fresh air, and also it is made of cement itself or tiles. And the KUTCHA houses are made of coconut leaves, or sometimes even other dry leaves, straw. Those are the things that we use to make the roof of KUTCHA house. Like I told you, it is a temporary house. So very light things are used. Okay. Now in the roofs there are two types: sliding roof and flat roof. What is the sliding roof? From the word itself, you know, it has a little slide. Okay. Now why is the slide? Because these houses are found in mountains. And what happens in mountains? Lot of rain and snow sometimes. So if the house is flat like this, all the water will stagnate and it will seep into the house and destroy the house. So that's why they have sliding roof. All right. Now the second one is flat roof house. Okay. And the flat roof house is found more in plains where there is not much of rainfall, and you know, it's okay to have those kind of roofs. So those are the two kinds of roofs. Now these are the things that we learned today about houses. Now if you go into different parts of the world, you will be amazed at what all houses are there. Okay. You can see them on the screen as I mentioned. The first one is an igloo. I'm sure you all learnt about igloo before also, or must have seen in cartoons. Yes, igloo is in the most coldest places in the world, mostly Arctic, Antarctic, and it's a house made of ice. Okay, the second one is caravan houses or camper van houses. You can see that on the screen. A lot of people prefer that, so that you know, they are not tied down to one place and they can travel, they can enjoy the world, yet they have a place where they belong. And like we mentioned, why do we need a house? Remember? Yes, so they can come back to, they can store all their belongings even if they are constantly on the road. Okay, the next one is stilt house. Now this is houses that are placed on wood. There is a complete house and then there are sticks on which the house stands. So this is mostly found in place where there is water logging or you know, chances of flood, so that water doesn't go into their houses. Then the next kind of house is a houseboat. A lot of countries have people who live in houseboats. Yes, but in places, some places it is like a tourist attraction. But in real also people live in houseboats. Okay, the next one is tents. A lot of people live in tents. Like you have seen, you know, when we are playing, sometimes we make tent with cloth. So yes, they have tent with such heavy cloth which they can stay in as their home, so that it is strong, it doesn't tear off. Then the next kind is teepee. As you can see on the screen, teepee is a house made of sticks and cloth, and it's very particular in the South American regions. Okay. Now how do we know what is a ideal house? We have seen the different types, but there is an ideal house. So whatever is the type of our house, it needs to be having some qualities. What are those qualities? Let's see. First one is, it needs to be clean, tidy, dusted, okay, and everything kept in its proper places, not thrown around, not crowded. Okay. So second point. The third point is, it needs to have, very important, good ventilation. Okay. If there is no good ventilation, always the house will be smelling bad, and you know, different, sometimes be food smell, sometimes it will be, you know, various kinds of smell that can come. So it has to be well ventilated. There should be sufficient windows and sufficient doors so that the air can circulate well. Then the next thing is, good sunlight. Has to be a house where sunlight can come in. Again, windows and doors have to be there, so that this sunlight is also, other than giving us light, it's very useful in killing germs and viruses. So it will kill the normal germs and viruses which can become harmful for us, and it kind of disinfects our house. Okay, that is why the sunlight is needed. Okay, what is the next thing? It should not be crowded with things. You know, as we walk, we will see a sofa, and then there is a table. Then there's so many things that we cannot walk properly in the house. Because remember, we said it's a personal space where we can be free and relax and rest. When everything is crowded and crammed together, we won't have a place to rest properly. So once again, we'll repeat what are the qualities of an ideal house. First thing, it should be clean, tidy, well arranged, and nicely dusted of all the dust particles and everything. Very often we need to do that so that it is kept clean. The second thing is, it has to have good ventilation. The next thing is, it has to have good sunlight. The next thing is, it should not be crowded or not with all the things. Okay, it should be a space where people can have their relaxation as well. So these are the qualities of an ideal house. I hope you have a better understanding about houses after this unit. So now today, when you go out into your neighborhood or you just take a walk in the park, you can start looking around for the houses, and you can, with this information that you have learned, now you can look at them with a new understanding. Okay, so this is this kind of house, this is made by these people, and this is this type of house, and you know, and various things that we learned. You can look at those houses and start remembering. That brings us to the end of this unit.